An Erios original.
And welcome to Webcrawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite mysteries. Each week, we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. I'm Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
And who are our patrons for today?
We have Rachel, Lynn, and Manuel.
Welcome to the team, guys. And if you are a patron, you get to see how ugly I look today and the makeshift background I tried to create.
Got those ring lights, baby.
Yeah. And the background I made looks insane. I hung up some drapes and then paper clipped like a Sasquatch and some pom-poms, but then I also didn't iron the drapes, so they're
very wrinkly.
I look like I'm on a meth binge trying to hide from the cops. Like I think the cops are outside and I'm covered my windows. I look insane. So congrats to the patrons who get to see that. Really excited for you. Also, before we get into it, I have to say we called it Scammers Gotta Scam January. And someone in the Discord was like, why don't you call it Scamuary?
Oh, shit. Of course. Scamuary.
Yeah, and I was like, because we're not smart. Yeah.
Oh, so such an idiot. I'm an idiot.
We'll be finishing up. fuck. So, fuck. I'm an idiot. So we'll be finishing up Scamuary. Melissa, what is our episode on today?
Today is... I don't know if it's like a reverse scam or like a scam. It's a scam is somehow involved in it.
Okay.
But I was going to do this episode on another wellness lady, but there really wasn't that much info, like not enough for a full episode. She's still like, there's still stuff going on with her. So maybe like we'll come back to her later. She got arrested for scamming, for pretending to have cancer. You know, that old scam.
Oh,
but then we got an
Why is that like a classic scam?
I don't know. Because it's you can't like
so
question.
Weird.
You can't be like, do you have cancer? Like that would
it's so weird.
Insensitive. We got an email from listener Kate who was like, thanks for always making my week less lonely and always brightening my day when I hear an episode. Have you heard about the Canadian Kardashians? And I was like, what is the Canadian Kardashians? Kardashians. I said the story is wild. And so I looked it up. It's crazy. I've never heard this story.
I haven't either.
It mainly happened in like 2016, 2018. So maybe that's why I didn't hear about it. But like, it's a crazy story about two sisters.
Ooh.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it.
Oh, they do look like the Kardashians.
Oh, you Googled them?
Similar vibe. Yeah. Oh, I gave it a goog.
Yeah, like long black hair, big booties, tan, you know.
Yeah.
So I found this really good New York Times article from 2018, which was written by Dan Levin, which is like where I got the majority of my info.
Got it.
In December 2016, sisters Jyoti and Kiran Matharoo posted an apology video saying that they were sorry for running a popular Nigerian gossip blog called Naija Gist Live. It's a weird video. They were specifically apologizing to a man who is an ex-boyfriend of one of the sisters. He's a super rich Nigerian dude. And this website no longer exists, but I found some archives and some posts of it. It's basically like a cross between, you know, that blind item site, Crazy Days and Nights?
Yeah.
And like Dumois, like that anonymous gossip.
Okay.
It's kind of like anyone can submit to it. So like it's not really,
Got it.
It can just be whatever it is. So they post a bunch of gossip about like rich and famous Nigerians.
Are they Nigerian?
No, they're Canadian. They're from Toronto.
Oh, right. That's so specific that okay.
Yeah, it's very strange, but we'll get back to this apology video later.
Okay.
So these sisters, Jyoti and Kiran, were born in Toronto to parents who immigrated from India. So they're Indian. And they grew up middle class. But they were known for dating very rich Nigerian men.
I've gotten that email before.
Yeah. It's like a reverse Nigerian prince.
Yeah.
So they had like tons of like designer bags and shoes and clothes and jewelry that they had to convert a bedroom in their apartment to like a whole closet. Like that's how much stuff they're getting from all these dudes. They owned multiple Mercedes, all given to them by rich dudes.
What?
Like they don't pay for anything, none of their clothes, nothing. They've basically modeled their lives after the Kardashians. Like their Instagram is full of like expensive clothes and jewelry, riding in private jets. They both have long black hair. They wear a ton of makeup. And that's how they got the nickname, the Canadian Kardashians, the can cars.
You know what's strange is I have no idea how would you like even procure a car or a purse from a man? Like, how does that even come up? How does that happen?
I think I'll tell you their story, but this seems like an unusual way for them to do this. But I feel like now it's like Instagram. Like you just post thirst traps and like you kind of like drop into dudes' DMs, I guess.
But then like a guy's like, let me buy you a purse. Like I've dated men with money and we've never stumbled to the phase of our relationship where it's like, let me buy you a car or a purse.
Martin got me a bag, but he's my husband and it was like a Christmas gift.
You guys are married. Yeah, you guys are married. Like I've had men like buy me like toilet paper when I need it and like nice stuff like that.
I've never had a boyfriend buy me a purse or like I've gotten like
but even
jewelry,
that's different, but
like special occasions.
Yeah.
But like not
right.
Yeah,
but like
you gotta find
this is like a real like sugar baby dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, you gotta be a professional. These girls know what they're doing.
Yeah, you gotta be a pro. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, they got involved in this like international scandal involving one of the world's richest men, a gossip website, and they were arrested a few times in different countries.
God.
So how did this all start? So back in 2008, Jyoti was about 24. She met a dude while working at Marciano at the mall in Toronto. Is it Marciano by Guess or Guess by Marciano? It's like
I think it's Guess. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like he was this like attractive hot dude and was like, I want to fly you down to Atlanta to hang out.
God.
And she was like, okay, well, can my sister come too? Because like just flying by yourself with a guy is like sketch. But if she's like, I'll have my sister come with me. Because like, you know, safety in numbers, I guess. And he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So he flew the sisters down. I think Kiran was 2 years younger. So they were like 22, 24. And they hung out at this like super nice house. And they met another dude, a friend of this guy's. He was a Nigerian guy. And they took them shopping and they bought them everything they wanted.
This is insane.
I guess for being hot, I guess. So then this Nigerian dude invited them to fly on his private jet to France and Greece to like go shopping and eat at fancy restaurants. And then to go to his home in Nigeria. I don't know. I guess it's just
bizarre.
It is bizarre. So he lived in this like amazing mansion, like tons of marble and servants and a private chef.
Tons of marble. He lived in an amazing mansion. There was tons of marble.
I feel like that's what rich people think is like.
Yeah, just marble.
Fancy. Yeah. When I went to
everything
Dubai,
is just
like,
white and marble.
Yeah, when I went to Dubai, everything was either like marble or gold.
Yes.
I think that's just what.
It's an aesthetic.
Because it's expensive.
Yeah. How was Dubai?
Dubai, I would never go there again. Like I got it. I was only there for 24 hours. It was a layover. But it was amazing.
You got the gist.
I mean, it was like Las Vegas times 1,000. And we went in the Burj Khalifa,
I don't know if I love
the
that.
Tallest building in the world. We rode camels in the desert. We did it all.
All in 24 hours? Wow, you did a lot during a layover.
We had it all planned out. We're going to go to the Burj Khalifa where Tom Cruise jumped out of in the Mission Impossible.
You know what I'm doing while you're talking?
Googling camels.
No, I'm Googling, are there any video filters for Riverside that make you look more attractive?
That's the problem with Riverside. So we're no longer using Zoom. We're using Riverside because the quality, it is better. But there's there's got to be some sort of
there's no blur.
Softening. You can put Vaseline on your
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, I'll pay it to I'll listen now. I'll stop Googling and I'll listen for the rest of the episode, but just know that's on my mind.
Well, before I posted the clip on Instagram, I ran it through. I did Facetune. I did just
Good
like
for
an
you.
overall
There you
blur.
go. That's my girl.
So,
that's my girl. That's why we're friends. You know what to do.
People.
Yeah, you know what to do.
I know what to do. Now they've got ring lights. You can see like everything.
We're the web crawler Kardashians.
Yeah. I would dare posting anything online.
You got to run that through Facetune. Oh my God, I'm laughing so hard. Okay, continue.
So this guy, he turns out he's one of the wealthiest men in Nigeria.
Oh my God.
So Kiran, the sister, hung out at the house by the pool while Jyoti went with this dude to Malaysia. They hung out with a prince. They played polo with this dude. They told their parents they got jobs as flight attendants.
I mean, that's actually a good cover.
Yeah.
If you're traveling all the time.
Yeah, because they're posting on Instagram that they're like all over the world.
Yeah.
So Jyoti dates this dude for a few years, this Nigerian dude, and then he bought the sisters a condo in Toronto and was sending her $10,000 a month.
Oh my God.
I know, crazy.
That's insane.
But they dated, I think, for only a few years, and they broke up. Once they broke up, they started just dating rich Nigerian dudes because they found it was an easy place to find rich dudes to date because they were known there.
Yeah.
As like, oh, here are these two hot sisters. Oh. So they were kind of known as like,
yes,
available hot babes. So they started posting everything on Instagram. They were on yachts in the Bahamas. They went shopping in Paris. They were carrying around Hermes bags. And they were constantly being talked about on Nigeria's gossip blogs. But like not always good stuff.
Is Hermes like the Birkin? Is that what the Birkin is?
Hermes? Oh, like the brand?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
yeah, Hermes is the who makes the Birkin bag. And those things can be up to...
Those things are like $250,000. Like it's crazy.
Those things run from like $12,000 to like $100,000.
You know what I heard that Martin told me this, and I don't know why Martin would know this.
What?
But women who have the Birkin bags, they get a fake Birkin to wear out in the world.
Oh, to take out?
Yeah, and they leave the real ones.
That doesn't surprise me.
Because like it's like an art piece. Like it's not, because the resale price apparently goes up. Like it's a really good investment.
Yeah, they appreciate that. Actually, doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
yeah, and also if someone were to steal it, that'd be like devastating.
Why would you ever go outside?
You got to insure that.
Yeah,
this one I'm looking at is $209,000.
Why?
And I've seen it on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. One of the women has it.
Yeah,
it looks like a little house.
They look ridiculous. Some of them look really ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, so they're getting huge gifts. They're getting real. Yes. They're making money.
So yeah, they're being talked about on all these gossip blogs. One headline said, "Indian twin menace Nigeria's most promiscuous sisters."
Oh my God.
And another one was cool. Why billionaire housewives dread them. Like they were like being talked about as these two like terrorists like coming into the country, like stealing all the men.
They're like emotional, sexual terrorists.
Yeah, like they were being blamed for all these rich men cheating on their wives. So like slut shaming a little,
Yeah, it takes two to tango.
Seriously. So then Kiran meets another guy who turns out to also be one of the richest men in the world. This guy, Femi Otedola, who's this Nigerian oil tycoon. He's an oil tycoon.
An oil tycoon.
He was worth $1.8 billion. And
What do you even do with that money?
I don't know. You buy marble mansions.
Yeah, marble.
You just buy slabs of marble.
Marble. Yeah. I'm a marble tycoon.
I'm a marble tycoon. So he was pursuing Kiran, but she was already in a relationship, but like didn't stop until Kiran gave in. She's like, okay, fine, I'll date you. Like he was obsessed with her. He's 50.
Yeah.
Married with a son, and he's like constantly surrounded by bodyguards and security. Like that's how important he is.
Yeah.
But then they dated for a few years, and then in 2013, Kiran ends the relationship, and Femi like wasn't happy. He was like pissed about it. Around 2013 is when this gossip site, Naija Gist Live, becomes a thing, like the Dumois of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they post all sorts of rumors and allegations of cheating. And also they post about like people bribing the government. Like it's serious allegations and rumors on this site.
Oh.
And they would post stories about Femi, Kiran's ex-boyfriend. But the owner of the site is anonymous. And the comments aren't moderated. So like it's just full of people commenting like, oh, I saw him here, I saw him there, I heard he's bribing the government, I heard he's like laundering money. Like it's all sorts of shit. And so wealthy and rich people, they really want to know who it is so they can threaten to sue the site.
I'm sure. And it's like good for blackmail.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you could be like give me money or I'm going to put you on Naija Gist Live.
That's exactly what happened with this.
Oh, interesting.
It's kind of where the story is going. In October 2016, there was a news story that said the person behind Naija Gist Live was identified.
Ooh.
And it's from this website, bellanaija.com. And it said, suspected owner of Naija Gist Live arrested and confesses to scamming and blackmailing Nigerians, including Femi Otedola. So this was apparently, they accused this guy of the site. He was arrested. He claimed that he was hired by someone to just like program the site.
Interesting.
So he was like, well, I'm not. He's like, someone hired me to like build the site. I'm not the one posting all of these rumors. But they didn't believe him. So they're like, okay, great. We figured out who has this site. Mystery solved, right? Not so fast.
Wrong. Let's take a quick break for announcements. Web Crawlers has a Patreon to get access to bonus episodes, shout outs, merch discounts, etc. And perhaps a weekly Patreon bonus episode.
What?
Did you guys like our Fart Wife episode?
That was a good
I
one.
hope you did. We'll have a new one coming this week, maybe on butts again. Rumpology.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But anyways, you can donate as little as $2 a month to become a patron. Also, please rate or review us on Apple Podcasts. And if you give us a 5-star review, we will shout you out. Erios has a hotline. Insert jingle here.
626-604-6262.
Mailbag episodes are back. We're so
Yeah,
excited.
baby.
Call us again. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And we will play them. Now, back to our program.
So in December 2016 in Lagos, the sisters were hanging out in their hotel when they got a knock on the door. They open it, and the police burst into their hotel room. And some were taking photos of them, like in their bathrobes.
Oh, my God.
And the photos ended up being posted online. They're like, what the fuck is going on? And they asked to see a warrant, but they didn't show them a warrant. And the police officers were all in plain clothes, too. So none of them had, like, identifying uniforms. And the girls tried to call the Canadian embassy, but they took the phone out of their hands.
Oh, shit.
So they were like, oh, my God, are we being kidnapped? What's going on?
Yeah, that's scary.
But they did end up at the police station, and they were asked if they owned Naija Gist Live and were spreading rumors about rich Nigerians. And they were like,
Uh-oh.
They're like, but also that site posted stories about these two girls. They're like, why would we be behind it?
Oh, really?
They're like, it posts stuff about us too. And they were accused of cyber stalking and threatening to kidnap Nigerians, including Kieran's ex-boyfriend, Femi.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, what is happening? We are not behind this. And they thought that, they're like, back in October, someone was already arrested for this. So why us?
Yeah.
So they were driven to another police station called Nigeria's Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is a branch that was like notorious for corruption and torturing people to get confessions.
I was going to say that like sounds fake.
I think it's called SARS of Nigeria.
Okay.
They were placed in an office, and this officer demanded that they write statements saying that they own the gossip blog.
Oh gosh.
And they were like, no, sir, we're not doing that. Also, the blog was written in a language they didn't even speak. It was Nigerian Pidgin.
Oh, interesting.
They're like, we don't speak this language. We don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So they were there for like a few hours. They're like, we're not doing this. There's no fucking way we're admitting to this. So they refused, and then they were put in a jail cell that was like filled with rats, had a dozen other women in it.
Oh my God.
There was a hole in the ground for a toilet. Like they were just thrown in there. They didn't know for how long they were going to be there. But the next day, they were taken back to their hotel rooms, and the police took their passports, their laptops, their phones. They had them open the safe. They took $11,000 from them. And then they drove the sisters to a hotel by the airport, and they were locked in this airport hotel with a guard outside, a police guard outside. But they didn't know what was going on.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So when they were arrested, they were assigned a guy to be their surety, which is like a person who is responsible for them to show up to their court dates and make sure they don't flee. I guess like a parole officer sort of type person. This guy is also at the hotel where the sisters are being kept. And he's talking to the guard, and he's like, hey, do you need some food? Do you need a drink? Like, I can watch the sisters if you want to take a break. And this guard ends up drinking a lot of beer and passing out.
Oh, no.
Like, this guy's here, have some beer. Because he's like on the sister's side. He's like trying to help them out.
Oh, God.
So this guard passes out.
Oh,
like,
Jesus
classic.
Christ. Yeah.
Here, have a drink. And so these sisters leave the hotel with this dude. But they can't fly back to Canada because they don't have their passports. So they're like, we need to figure out a way to get some help before this guard wakes up.
Oh my God.
So we can get back here. So they find a phone. They call the Canadian consulate. And the consulate is like, okay, yeah, sure. We'll call you back. And they're like, no, you don't understand. We don't have a phone. We're in a hotel. They arrested us. We didn't do it. And they're like, okay, well, we'll try to figure it out. We'll call you back. They're like, we don't have a phone. And they're like, okay,
no, like we need to get this settled now.
It was just like someone like not really like paying attention was like, okay, sure. What's your problem? Yeah, we'll get back to you.
Oh my God.
So they return to their hotel room, and they're just like waiting for something to happen. They're there for days. And then the police officer who's watching them, he says he's going to bring them back to their original hotel room so they can put on some nice clothes and makeup. And they're like, okay.
Weird.
And so the police took the sisters to Femi's house, Kieran's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, snaps.
Who told them that they needed to cooperate or they're going to go to prison for 10 years.
Oh, shit.
Like, he thought that they were running this website. And he apparently was like really paranoid and like kind of crazy. But someone had posted a damaging story about him and his wife and their son on Naija Gist Live and was contacting him asking for money to take it down. So he thought the sisters were like bribing him.
Yeah.
So Femi also told the sisters he locked a journalist in his house for multiple days for an unfavorable story. He's like, I did it to this guy and I'll do it to you.
I'll do it to you. Oh, Jesus
This dude was nuts. He also had a Nokia phone because he was worried about his email being hacked. Like he didn't trust iPhones.
I love that for him. I think that's
great.
So he
was like Good paranoid already. So they're like, we don't know what you're fucking talking about. And then the police take them back to their airport hotel. They're there for days again, just waiting for something to happen. And then the police officer was like, okay, we need to take you to the courthouse for your hearing. But they need to stop by the bank on the way because they need to withdraw money for quote unquote court fees. They're like, this isn't
weird.
Right. You're taking us to a bank on the way to the courthouse. This is not.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
This is sketch. So they end up going to the courthouse. They pay a bunch of money, like thousands of dollars, but they never meet with a lawyer. A bunch of people there take photos of them. So there's photos of them like at the courthouse, like posted online.
Oh my God.
But also there, they meet the guy who was accused of running Naija Gist Live. He said he's been held for months. And he said the police have tortured him. They beat him because he wouldn't admit to owning the site. And they're like, what is going on?
Holy shit.
So by now, there's a bunch of stories on the internet about them owning the site. They're like, oh, sisters got arrested for owning gossip site.
Oh, God.
But what's crazy is that the site is still being updated with stories while the girls are detained. So they're like, we can't possibly be running the site.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It's being updated. So then after a week of being held in this like hotel room, the cop comes to the door. He told the sisters if they make an apology video, they could get their passports back and fly home. They were like, we're not doing that. Like,
this is shady.
That. So they decide, they're like, well, we have no other choice. Let's just make the fucking video. We'll get our passports. We'll fly home. So in the video, like the cop is holding the phone. They're standing against the wall in a room as someone's filming them.
What?
And then Jyoti reads a confession off her phone. She admits that the sisters ran the website. They apologized to Femi and his family. And here, the apology's still up. Here is
audio. Oh my God.
His family, especially his wife and children, and all the other petitioners, we created a platform called NijaGistLive.com and .co, where people can send in stories. Most stories were sent by close friends or associates of people being written about. The intention was not to hurt anyone or to be malicious. The intention was not to extort anyone. We haven't received any money from this website. The money went to Babatunde Oyebode of Hustle Inc. We are again very sorry, and we assure all the petitioners that we will not have any affiliation whatsoever with this website or any other website that has to do with this. We promise not to say anything of the contrary to what we are saying now. We freely volunteered to make this video and not under duress because we are aware of the damages done to people.
Yeah, that's the video. It's so strange.
But it was not them who did, like, it wasn't them who did it, who made this
they were not
website.
Running this website. But they posted the video. They let them go, but they didn't get their passports back. So they were like stuck there. So this video went out online and everyone thought it was real. So like it ruined their reputation. Oh, they're like, oh, these fucking bitches are running this.
So many people are probably mad at them.
Yeah. So then a week later, they posted bail. They flew back to Toronto with emergency travel documents issued by the Canadian officials. So they were able to go back.
Oh, good.
So once home, they decided to like not post about this. But then like that didn't really last long. So they started like talking to Canadian media. They posted about this on their lifestyle blog. Like they were just...
So something happened.
So I did a thing.
Yeah.
I was arrested in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was held for
quick
10
update.
Days. Oops. So a few months later, in September 2017, Jyoti, she was trying to fly to the United States. Like, I would just lay low for a while. Like, I would.
Yeah, I'd like stay home for a minute.
But she was at the Toronto airport, and they told her she couldn't fly because there was an outstanding warrant for her arrest.
Oh, no.
And she's like, there is? And then a week later, Kiran flew to Venice with a friend to like go furniture shopping or something.
What?
And I wouldn't fly internationally I would just make sure everything was okay. But she was apparently waiting for her luggage at the Venice airport. The Italian customs locked her in a room with no food, water, or explanation. Then 8 hours later, the officials told her that she was under provisional arrest because of a flag on her passport.
Oh, Lord.
She spent the next 40 days in jail awaiting extradition to Nigeria.
Oh, no.
But Nigeria never filed the extradition paperwork because they have 40 days to do it. And so Kiran was allowed to fly home to Canada.
Oh.
But she was like in jail for 40 days for no reason.
And that's not a small amount of days. I mean, that's horrible.
No. So once she got back to Canada, the sisters began pleading with Interpol to get their names off of this database of red notices. Like the red notice is like Osama bin Laden is on like the red notice list.
Yeah. I'd be like, can we look into what's going on here?
Yeah. Like normally they go after like murderers and drug traffickers. They're like, we're just we don't do anything.
I'm just a bimbo.
I'm just a bimbo. I'm an influencer. So while they waited for Interpol to review their cases, they continued to post online. Like they did ads for shoes and hair extensions and spray tans. Kiran developed like an online food consulting brand. Like they were just living their lives.
Good for her.
Yeah. And then in June 2018, an American man who was living in Dubai, who followed Jyoti on Instagram, contacted her about starting a fashion line.
Good.
So he wanted to visit them in Canada. But then they got a package from Interpol about the appeals commission. And inside was a letter informing them that the Interpol had deleted their names from its database. So they were free to travel the world.
Oh my God.
So Jyoti...
That's bizarre.
Had this dude book her a plane ticket to Dubai in September. And then like, I guess these two people, they fell in love. She was on a private island. And then one evening she was wearing like this orange dress that her sister had made. And he was like very impressed by it. And he was like, oh, well, let's get you a fashion line. And like found manufacturers in Los Angeles to like start a fashion line for them.
And that's how Fashion Nova was created.
That's how Fashion Nova was created. But they started a line called Spectrum Studio. This was back in 2018. I looked it up. It's not really a thing now.
I'm sure.
So that kind of didn't really work out for them. But they said that they are inundated with messages from women asking for guidance on finding a billionaire. So like, how do you do this?
I was going to say that's what they should do. Like they got to write a book about like how to get a man to buy you a car or like, you know, like that's where their expertise is, you know?
Yeah. So some of their advice has been, don't be greedy. When he asks what kind of car you want, don't ask for a Rolls Royce. But how do you get to the point where he's asking
you say like a Saab? What do you?
Yeah, I guess just a Honda will do. Like, I'll take a Honda. They said you should observe proper jetiquette by dressing conservatively on their private jet.
Oh, jetiquette.
You don't want to look like some guy hired a hooker for a weekend. That's like
you want to look like a girlfriend or a wife. Okay.
Yes. And obviously when he hands you thousands of dollars for a luxury shopping spree, bring him back some change.
Okay. And maybe a gift for him.
But I looked them up now. They're on Instagram still.
Ooh.
Jyoti wrote a guide on how to get a natural BBL, a Brazilian butt lift.
I'm listening.
She wrote a book, or it's like a guide. It says Natural. Oh. The Guide to Natural Looking BBL. It's $150.
What?
Yes. It's the website is introducing Snatural.
Introducing Natural.
It says new body, who dis? Yes, I got my body done this summer. I've been recovering since then, hence my absence on IG. I get so many questions
Oh my
about
God.
my BBL. Where'd you do it? Who was your doctor? Did it hurt? Do you have before and after pics? This was round 2 for me, but it's my first time doing lipo 360. Yada, yada, yada. Since then, I've researched for years on how to get the good BBL. And any work I get done, I like it looking natural. Like, did she or didn't she is my thing.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, it's a guide for how to get a BBL. She does. You can have a consultation
I think she's
with her.
cool.
But it
That's
looks like
exciting.
they're still flying on PJs. They still have expensive jewelry. They're still living
you
their
sell
best
one
lives.
Birkin. Yeah, you sell one Birkin. You're good for
Yeah.
who knows how long.
So that's what the sisters are up to. I think they're in their like mid 30s now, mid to late 30s.
Past their
'cause
prime.
That was
Past their prime.
well, yeah, I'd say early 30s. That's a good time.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, that's the Canadian Kardashians. It's a crazy story.
You know what? Here's my take. At first, I was anti. By the end, I was like, you know what? You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, good for these girls.
Yeah.
Like they worked the system. They
Yeah.
they were only arrested a couple times and almost
It happens to the
prison
best of
for
us.
blackmail. But
I like this word jeticate. I like charging $150 for a little manual. I think that this is all
it
great.
probably has some good tips in there. Her butt looks good.
We should have them on the Patreon episode about rumpology
Oh.
and butts. Maybe we can reach out to her and be like, we're interested in butts. We have a
We're interested
podcast.
in
Like,
your
will you come
butt."
on? We're really interested in your butthole. Will you come on? And just see. And also, I mean, a lot of our listeners are interested in booty masks.
Booty
so
masks. Yeah.
if any of you have $150 to spare, maybe you should get this.
Yeah.
Consult with her. 150 Canadian. How much is that American?
I think it's pretty similar.
Oh, it's 112. Yeah, I thought it was like going to be like 300 American, and I was going to say, okay, bitch, that's too much.
You get a lot for your dollar over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys know any other Kardashians from other countries, if you have any,
there a
if you know any good
French
scams,
Kardashian?
yeah. If you know where to get a filter for Riverside, Melissa, where can people reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com.
All right. Well, I am Allie, fake Birkin Siegel.
I am Melissa Jetikit Stetton.
I like that. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by Acast.